Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is Sunday, May 8th, Mother's Day, and I am here to give you a bit of a stitching update. I have been stitching. Back on my first Monday, May Monday start, which was stitching Needfuls. I'll remind you of what it looks like. That's the Julie McConnell retreat piece that we were gifted at the retreat last November. When I started this on Monday, I got the word stitching done and I got the border above it and all the way down the side completed. So when I picked it up today, I decided to start right here and see if I couldn't get that floss bobbin completed. And that was my goal for the day. Not stitching for a prompt today, just stitching for a goal. And I got it. So here is my little floss bobbin on my own stitching Needfuls. You'll notice that I did my floss in straight stitches. That was how the model was stitched, even though the pattern was charted for cross stitches. That way you could do it either way. But I think that the straight stitches make it look like it's floss actually wrapped around that bobbin. And so that's what I did. Now when I went to count stitches, I did 9 strands, 9 times around. But I only counted half of that. So since it's an uneven number, it came out to be 4 stitches that I allotted for that. But this little part right here today totaled up to 467 stitches. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, I think it's beautiful. I love those little colors. And that pushes this almost to the halfway point. If I could have done a needle and thread on here, I would have had the first half completed, but I'm tickled to death to have this much done on my first start. Really happy about that. The rest of the time today, I have spent getting ready for tomorrow's new start for my May Monday start number 2, which is Royal Games 1. And I just wanted to remind you about this beautiful fabric. I'm repurposing this from Crystal Christmas. And we're going to put Royal Games 1 on here. And today I loaded it in my roller frame. I marked my center because I'm going to have to start from the center. I have decided to start on the queen that is the Queen of Hearts. I'm going to do that part first, stitch up, and then I'll go down. So this one's ready for me to grab in the morning to get started. And I've got my floss and everything ready to go. And I will share that with you tomorrow when I get going on it. So now for the rest of the evening, I have a plan. I am going to be doing a special, almost like Mania in July, but I'm going to do Christmas in July, and I have a desire to get a number of my Christmas projects started because I just have more of them, more Christmas patterns than I do anything else. And if I ever want to get them up in my house or gift them or whatever I'm going to do with them, I need to get them started. So I thought it would be fun to start 22 of them because it's 2022 and I've selected the 22, and today I got in my little mesh project bags. I didn't get fancy project bags for all 22 because I don't normally want to have 22 Christmas projects on the go. So I ordered the little mesh project bags off of Amazon because I can use them for this group at Christmas, and then I can save a group of them. And then sometimes when I give things away, if I'm gifting a pattern and floss or fabric where it's more of a package deal, I like to put them in those plastic project bags because they help keep them safe in case they get wet or anything like that. So they make a really good travel thing. So I have ordered 20 of them. I have at least 2 Christmas project bags that were available to use. So my bigger projects that are more long-term will probably go in those. But tonight I thought it might be fun to kit them up, to make sure I have all fabric pulled, and to go ahead and try to pull as much of the floss as I have and see if I need to buy any more or borrow it from other projects. Sometimes when you're going to just start something and you're only going to stitch on it a little bit, you might not have to have all of your floss the day you start, just enough to get started. So that's kind of what I want to look at today. So that'll be fun. Gonna take Coco for a walk. She's been up here a couple of times while I've been recording, looking at me. I know she's ready to go. It's about that time of day. So I will bid you adieu, and I will come back when I have something to share with you, like a stitching update. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Monday, May 9th, and I am here to give you an update on my second May Monday start for the month of May. You know, I was going to do 5 starts. So the start for today was Royal Games 1. This was voted on by everyone, and I think most people said one of 2 reasons that they picked this one. It's the first in the series, or because I play hearts and I've played spades in addition to canasta. So because I had played those 2 games, they thought that would be meaningful to me as well. And I think it's great, especially to start the one with the Queen of Hearts. So today I got out my fabric. This fabric is my repurposed fabric that I had selected to do Crystal Christmas on before. It's Pixie Dust, and it's by Silk Weaver. And I started in the center of the pattern today, which is right down in the pink of her dress, the bodice of her dress. Today I only got to stitch 608 stitches. That's still a pretty decent start, I think. But as you can tell, here's the beginning of her bodice. Her waist is here. This is where the top goes into the pretty white middle. This is her underarm here. This is the sleeve. This is part of her sleeve. So that's where I got to today. Now, I think once the pinks and purples all get on here, the purple's gonna really bring that out. And I think it'll be quite pretty together. So I am tickled with this. I would love to finish her side over here with her arm and everything if I could. I plan on stitching this more this week. I have looked at my prompts, and I have to work on Pandemic for a couple of prompts. I have to work on my Autumn Bell Pull for a prompt, and I think the other prompts are all for my new starts that are coming through the month. So I may take a break in the morning and work on Pandemic because I have to stitch 300 stitches on it. And then when I finish that, I could very easily pick this one back up and continue working on it. I would like to do that because I really want to give these 5 starts a healthy start. I want them to feel like they're really part of my mainstream whips, you know, as it were. So other than that, I have spent part of the day staining my little hoops that will make my hoop box. That was my retreat piece from the Guild retreat that I went to just in March. I was thinking of taking that project with me to the beach because my friend Donna said it took her one long day to stitch it when she was stitching up the model. So I'm hoping that if I take it to the beach with me where I have several days to dedicate to stitching, that within 2 to 3 days I should be able to finish it. and then I could come home and fully finish it because I'll have the box already ready to go. But Donna had brought over her stains and the things to use to stain wood with the cloth fabric and things like that to wipe it down with, and the sponge applique, that sort of thing. So while I had mine here and her stain here, I checked with her. She was happy that I had done that. I went ahead and stained my hoops. So now I'm ready to stitch it and fully finish it because I'll have the box ready to go. So I did a little work on that today as well. I have exciting news, personal news. My husband flew home today. I'm so happy to have him home, safe and sound. He and his hiking buddies shaved 3 days off of their itinerary. They hike such long hikes so many days in a row that they literally cut 3 days off of the time that it should have taken them to hike. And my husband said one of the reasons he was pushing so hard is that he knew that had been gone a very long time for Coco and for me, and he didn't realize when he booked the trip, he didn't realize that Mother's Day was this past Sunday. And I think it really bothered him that he wasn't here on Mother's Day, even though I'm not his mother. I'm the mother of his child. So he brought me a sweet, sweet gift. Yesterday he went shopping and he found some needlework and he saved the stitches. And he brought it home to me. And he said, I may not like it as far as the picture, but he felt like it would show that he was thinking of me. And it certainly did. And so I will put a picture in of what he purchased. And then it is needlepoint, and I don't know, I think the fibers may be yarn or a real thicker, fat fiber. I don't know if I can wash it, but it's dirty. It's older, and it's seen some wear. I'm going to have to take the backs off, if at the very least, and replace them. But if you know a way to clean needlepoint, give a girl a clue. Put me a comment down below, if you will. I would love to hear from you about how I can clean this gift, because I would like to either clean it and restore the back to the frames, or make them into two nice long pillows to go in my guest room, in my recliner chair, where they could just be decorative pillows. So if you know how to clean needlepoint, and it's older needlepoint, so I don't know about that, if it's color fast or not. That's my concern. Let me know. I'm going to say goodnight. It is marching on toward midnight, and my husband wants to get up really early in the morning and start training for his marathon that he's running in New York City in November. And while he's got his stamina built up from these long hikes, he wants to jump in that training program for himself. So I will tippy-toe down there and go to bed and try not to wake him. But I just wanted to share with you my new start, my second Monday May start, and hope that you have had a great Monday yourself. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is actually May 11th, but yesterday on May 10th, I came back and did a little more stitching on my Monday start, which was Royal Games 1, because I didn't get a whole lot of time to stitch. My husband's back and we had a lot of errands to do. I had some shopping to do and things like that. And I wanted to spend time with him. Just missed him. So I stitched a little bit. I put in about 469 stitches into this piece. I just wanted to get a little bit better start on it before I put it away. And so here's where I got to. You can definitely see there's the side of the bodice of her dress, there's her sleeve, this is the fluff ruffle around her sleeve here, and that's where her arm will be, that's holding that pretty little heart or flower. I think it's a rose. And so you can see the outline there, the space for her arm. There are empty spaces all around the bottom of the sleeve, and some in the bottom here, and those are for beads. But I'm not going to bead it as I go along because I'm using a scroll rod and I don't want to roll those beads up in my scroll rod. So I'll wait and do all the beading at the end, which is what I like to do. I just wanted you to see her, as this is where I really got to before I put her away. And then today I'll be working on something else. I have a couple of choices today. I don't know what I'll wind up doing, but I need to get some stitches into Pandemic for a couple of prompts. And so that may be the first one I work on. I need to work on my autumn bell pull for a prompt, so I may pull that out. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for. But right now I am gonna head on out with my hubby. I think we're gonna go get a bite to eat lunch, and then I can go buy groceries so that we can start eating back at home again. I went through all my leftovers and groceries while I was here by myself, because that way I didn't have to leave Coco for very long. And so now I need to replenish everything. And I will go ahead and tell you some news. I am excited because I get to play canasta tomorrow. And then this Saturday is our stitching meetup at the library. So I am really, really excited about that. I'm looking forward to seeing folks again that I haven't seen in a month, and be able to stitch with them. So I got two nice events coming up this week. One I won't get to stitch any, and the other I'll get to stitch all day. So what a great trade-off. I hope you're getting off to a great start. Whatever I stitch today, I'll try to come back and share with you this evening. And in the meantime, happy stitching. Hello again, this is Dina. I am back just for a few minutes before we leave to go to our choir practice tonight, because I wanted to share with you that I did get to work on my Pandemic today, and my prompt required 300 stitches, and I got 389 in today because I wanted to finish running out my variegated thread to the end of that line. So I'll try to tell you what I worked on today, because I kind of moved around a little bit. And I got my stand over here, so I have to work around it. Okay, here we go. So when I started on it today, I had stitched this little portion right here and most of that, stopping about right here. And I went up here because that's where my next strand of floss seemed to fit the best. And I worked this all the way over. That is the page break of the second page. If you have been watching, you may realize that my journey piece for my guild this year is to get 2 page finishes on Pandemic. This is the first one that I got. This is the second one. I've at least now gone across the top to the page break, to the page finish. Now I need to come on down and fill in the rest here. So today I concentrated, I got all of this part in, and then the color had just turned really pale, and this was really, really dark. So rather than waiting and transitioning from medium to dark, I took my pale thread right down here, and because this is so pale, and it looked like it tied in much better, and so it got pale toward the medium. So I did this portion down here, pulled it on down a little bit. So that's where I stopped for the day. 389 stitches on Pandemic, and all you see is this little section right here. There are a lot of stitches in this thing. Anyway, I'm happy that I've gotten all the way across the top, and now I'm just gonna look to, stitching my way down so I can get that page finish. So that was good. That was a good accomplishment. So if you're thinking back to what I said in my earlier clip, one of my things I wanted to choose from today was Pandemic, and the other was my autumn bell pull. And let me grab my cheat sheet over here, my ledger. And then I'm going to need to do the Nativity. Those are two of my prompts that I need that are not new starts. So for 24 hours of cross stitch, several of my prompts this time are the 5 Monday starts that I planned for May Mondays. So that's good. You know, that's nice. So tomorrow, I think I may pull out my bell pull and see either that or Nativity, depending. Probably the bell pull, because I'm not using it for anything except the acrostic, which means I probably don't have to put but 200 stitches in it. And since I'm playing canasta all day tomorrow, that's probably all I'm going to be able to do. Coco and my hubby are taking a little bit of a walk to let her stretch her legs and get some energy out before we leave to go practice singing. And so in the meantime, I have been stitching. So I hope you have had a good day today. I hope you've been able to stitch on something that you wanted to stitch on, that you enjoy stitching on, and that it's been a very productive day for you. Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Dina. It is Friday today. It is the 13th of May, and I'm here to give you a stitching update. So, if you're watching really close, I didn't give you an update for yesterday. That's because I didn't stitch yesterday. I had a day full of outings and errands and meetings with people and didn't get to stitch yesterday, but I did do some planning, and I'll share that with you here very briefly. However, today was a different story. I got to stitch this morning, and it's around 2:30, and I wanted to stop and go ahead and give you my update on this project in case I don't get to finish anymore, but I'm hoping to. So what I did today is pull out my autumn bell pull. I pulled this out for 2 reasons. I need it for an acrostic, 24 hours of cross stitch. The acrostic in that is every stitch counts, and I'm using the autumn bell pull for T in every stitch counts because I'm working on the letter T in the bell pull. And I have a new set of prompts from Carrie Pickering's group called Museum Week, and one of the prompts in there was to stitch on something that has books on it, words on it, or an alphabet. And this has words. So in addition to autumn, there's a poem in here. So this had words, so it qualified. In that weekly challenge, I had to stitch anywhere from 200 to 300 stitches. 300 is the better score, so I went for 300. And I actually was able to put 322 stitches in my autumn bell pull. So here's what that got me. It finished the letter T, which was great, and then it got one of the 2 colors in the gourd, the first gourd at the bottom of the T. So really tickled with that. Got that color finished right there for that item, and it gave me 322 stitches, so I went just slightly over what I needed and could go ahead and post for both of those prompts. Very happy about that. Delighted to get that done. So that brings me to telling you a little bit about my plans. We are traveling again. We're going to go back to the beach and take Coco one more time because on March 31st, all the beach rules change for the puppy dogs, and they can't go to the beach anytime anymore. They have to go early in the morning and late in the evening because it's beach season. You know, it's the season for the people to come for vacations and holidays. And so the puppy dogs are restricted then to the beach at certain hours. So before that happens, we want to take her back to the beach, which means we're leaving in a couple of weeks. So I needed to sort of make plans on what I could save to take with me and stitch on. And in the meantime, what did I need to stitch to hit all my goals and prompts, you know, that I couldn't carry with me, those things that are larger, you know. Hence why I've been working on things like pandemic and stuff like that during the week. But I really just sat down yesterday and this morning and put together these plans. I'll share them with you now. My latest event that I picked up this morning was about a museum. Carrie's story this week, Carrie Pickering, wrote a story about museums. And so we have the first 5 prompts in that group are about museums. And I mentioned the Autumn Bell Pool was that something that had either books, words or alphabets in it, because you see those in museums. So I met that prompt today, but there are 4 other prompts I'm going for in that event. Now I have 2 weeks to get it done, but looking at what I'm going to have to stitch on to make the prompts, some of them I don't want to carry with me. Some of them I would rather stitch here because of their size or because of their intensity of trying to read the chart. And I just do better when I'm in my stitching area with all my good light and my desk where I can spread everything out and have everything like I'm used to, and then I can stitch a lot more comfortably. So I went ahead and wrote down in order, not in the order of the prompts, but in the order I want to stitch them, so that I get the things done that I don't want to carry with me first. And then I sat down and thought, okay, now that I know what I have to stitch on for my prompts, I've got my acrostics here, what am I going to take with me traveling to make sure I hit all my prompts? Because we're actually going to be gone through the last day of the month. We're going to be driving home the last day of the month. So I have come up with what I want to take with me so that I can stitch all the prompts and have things to take with me on vacation that will be productive for me. So here's kind of what I plan on taking with me. I want to take the extra stocking that I wanted to make for the stocking exchange or the ornament exchange that Cindy is sponsoring. And Cindy's Cross Stitch, if you haven't followed her, you need to go check her out. And you still have time to participate. All you have to do is let her know. And then you have to be able to send her a completed, fully finished ornament by July 1st, because she wants to mail them out, I think, on the 15th. So I've got a stocking stitched that I could turn into an ornament and put it as part of that exchange. But there's a second stocking. There's actually 3 together, but I like a second one equally as well in the book. So what I want to do is stitch it up and then fully finish them both and see which one do I like best. So I'd like to take that with me on vacation because I think I could finish it in a couple of days. And that would be helpful. The second thing I want to do is, of course, I have a May Monday start while I'm gone. And so I'll take that with me. And then I have a former May Monday start stitching Needfuls. And this is where I've gotten to on it. And if I can get the needle and thread in here and pull that border over, I'll have it halfway done. I may try to do that because I have Saturday stitching tomorrow, and I'm going to take it with me and see if I can't get at least the needle and thread done, or at least the border, one of the 2 done while we're there. That would be awesome. Then I only have the second half of this thing to do, and I think I could get it done in a couple of days. So I would love to take this with me and have my first finish on my May Monday starts. I think that would be awesome. And then I'm doing an animal adventure, which is a year-long challenge, but every month we're given 8 additional animals to go find, and the way we find them is to stitch a number of stitches. And so you have 8 a month to do, and I have completed 6 so far for this month, and that means I've got 2 more animals to stitch for, and I have 3 whips that I can use. Now I've used all 3 this month, so I've met that criteria. I can stitch for the last 2 prompts on any one of the 3 that I want to take with me. And it turns out that one of them, only one of them, I'm stitching on Q snaps, and that's Enchanted Alphabet. So I'm planning to take it with me and work on it for the animal adventures if I haven't already met it before I go. You never know. Anyway, those are my plans for traveling. So there's a potential there for a couple of finishes. and then a new start, and then meeting a couple of prompts on one of my whips, which I think would be a great week of stitching. Anyway, I have sat down with my 24 hours of cross stitch prompts and my last prompt for my monthly magazine, which is for S in the word sound, and I'm using it for my May Monday start snowman with mittens, which is coming up Monday. So once I do that this coming Monday, I'll have that acrostic finished for the month. So then the only one I'll still need to stitch on will be the 24 hours cross stitch. So I'm making sure that I incorporate all my little acrostics and my prompts in my stitching before I go, or I'm taking it with me because I'll have to have it all done by the end of the month. But it's going to work out just fine, I think. So there you have it. That's what I've been working on. Those are my plans. I have a stitching meetup day tomorrow, so hopefully I'll have some fun to tell you about that. And on top of that, my son texted me last night and invited me to go out Saturday for Mother's Day because he had to work Sunday on Mother's Day, the whole day. He had told me he was afraid that would happen because he took call, but he had promised me we would celebrate later, and so last night he texted me and he said, "Are you busy tomorrow? Are you busy Saturday?" is what he said. "Are you busy Saturday?" And so we've made plans, and I have a time to meet him here at the house. He wants to come by and play with Coco a little bit, and then we're going to go out and have a meal together. I'm excited about that. So that's my update for today. If I do any further stitching, I'll come by and let you know. But otherwise, if this video is not too terribly long, my husband has created a video of his hike in Pennsylvania. It's beautiful. He had a good hike. He did take a fall. He sprained his wrist, but it's not broken. It's still bothering him quite a bit. It's very sore and tender, but it's not broken, which is a great thing. His hiking partner took a tumble, but what was worse is his hiking partner's rain gear failed on him, and he got soaking wet, and he got a rash from his wet fabric rubbing against his skin, and they had to hike 17.5 miles in the rain that day. It rubbed his skin raw. He was in bad shape, you know, very, very uncomfortable by the end of that day. And so that's the only and worst things that happened to both of them. And considering they hiked over 240 miles, that's pretty good. They were both pretty excited about their accomplishment and how well they overcame adversity when things arose. And so they're planning another trip to hike another large section, hopefully, of the Appalachian Trail, but it won't be until next year because my husband has had to take a hiatus from hiking to prepare for his marathon in November in New York City. So he won't be hiking anymore till after that. He has to give all of his time now to training for his marathon. So at least I won't be a hiking widow for a while. Coco will be happy for that. But if you enjoy that, I'll put it at the end, right before the pictures of Coco, so that you know, you can either see it or you can skip it. That's fine. But most of you enjoy it that have commented on it. You know, you like to see where he goes and how beautiful the country is, and so I will put that on. I hope to see you later with some more stitching. But until next time, happy stitching, everybody. Hello again. I'm here again on the 13th of May just to wrap up my video for today. I had mentioned I was going to try to get another prompt met today, and that if I did, I'd come back and share it with you. So that's what I'm here to do. I pulled out Nativity today. You know, I have a Whip Go goal to finish this angel for this year, but I also had this in my 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic, and I had it in my brand new weekly challenge as well. This one was for, one of the prompts was stitch on a whip of your choice, and then tell what museum you either would like to visit or was your favorite museum. So I will do that in the prompt, but this was my whip of choice, and I think it was because I needed to work on it some. I wanted to work more on that angel toward my whip go goal, but I want to show you what I got done today. For my weekly challenge to stitch on a whip of my choice, the maximum number of stitches to get the maximum number of points is 300. So you guessed it, I went for 300. And because I'm working on the angel, I started really trying to set myself up for a win in that department as well. So I wound up stitching 312 stitches today because I wanted to finish a small goal. So here's where I got to. You should notice some difference in it. That's right. I came over here. I did the sash on his waist. I went in and went into Joseph's head and got his hair completely done all the way around, because that way I could fit the sleeve, the angel's sleeve, in without any worry that I was going to mess up something as important as a face. You remember that was one of the things that I really didn't like on my first go at this, and I was really happy with the angel's face. These are charted 1/1. They're not charted any other way, and so that face will have to be 1/1. But now I'm ready to do that when I get ready to stitch on Joseph. But I went over here, did the hair, and then did the sleeve, and that was my goal, was to finish that sleeve. I also, because one of the colors in the shadowing here is up here in the wing, I had it on my needle, and so I went up here and I did some shadowing on the wing before I started on Joseph's hair and worked my way across here. So I've actually worked on this piece from the bottom portion and the top portion on that side of the wing. So that felt good. 312 stitches, and I feel like I've made a little progress. So that's good. I'm glad I met that prompt in both of my Facebook groups that I was working toward. I'll have to take pictures now and post them. And then I have to get my bag packed for my stitching meetup tomorrow. I hope you are having a great start to your weekend. Enjoy your stitching, and I'll talk to you soon. Happy stitching. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today is Saturday, May 14th. So I wanted to come in here and give you my stitching update for today and tell you a little bit about our stitching meetup. So we had 19 people gather today at the library to stitch. That is the largest number we've had in a while, and I am so thrilled that I got to see everybody and they got to see each other. That was wonderful. We had 2 new people who visited for the very first time ever at the library, and one lady came in and said, I just want to come in here and meet some other stitchers, which I thought was great. Another person was a guest of one of our regular attenders, and turns out she only lives about 5 minutes from the library, so it'll be easy for her to coming forward now that she knows where to find us. Another interesting thing that happened today was a young girl in the 3rd grade came in with her mom. Her 2 older brothers were with her at first, and they checked everything out and decided that was boring for them, and they took off. But her mom shared with us that she had seen the announcement about the cross-stitch get-together in class, and she told her mother she wanted to learn to cross-stitch. So her mom brought her in and asked if we were teaching, and we said yes, we would be happy to do that. So I looked in my stitching travel bag. I always have some little tiny kits in there that we use when we're going to teach somebody how to stitch, and I let her pick the one she wanted. She saw one right away that she liked, and a lady in our group, Teresa, just said, "Come sit with me," and she took almost the rest of the day and taught this lovely young lady how to stitch. So that is the third or fourth person that we've taught this year so far how to cross stitch, and they're getting younger and younger and younger. I love it. It's great. So that was a wonderful, wonderful day. We had some door prizes, and one lady won 3 door prizes today. She was lucky. I told her to go out right away and buy a lottery ticket because with her luck today, she would win. It was lovely. We had a nice freebie table, people sharing things. So it was a delightful day, delightful day. So as I had said in a previous clip, I took my Stitching Needfuls pattern with me that Julie McConnell designed, and I didn't take anything else. So as it turned out, I was able to stitch quite a bit today, and I would like to show you how far I got. So this is where I'm at now. So I was able to stitch the needle and thread, and I brought the border on around at least even to where I had it. So this is the middle of the piece right here. And now I have started moving forward for the word needfuls, and there's a pair of scissors here, and then complete the border around. So this is how far I've gotten so far today. So what does that say? Well, I will stitch possibly a little more this evening if I have time, and I will definitely stitch on this tomorrow. I would love to finish this by tomorrow night. I don't know that I will get to. There's a lot of stitching left in this border and in the word here, but whatever I don't finish this week, I will finish next week. And so this one will probably be a finish before I go. Which brings me back to a piece that I said early on I might like to take with me, and then I didn't put it on my list when I gave you my plans the other day. And that was the former retreat piece that I had gotten from my guild retreat, which was a red thread piece. And I have already stained and glued the hoops together to make the little box. This is to be a topper for the box. So I have my object ready to finish it with once I get it stitched. So I think I'm probably going to put it back on the list to take with me, especially if I finish this one. So I just wanted to share that with you. You've had a lovely day. There were 6 of us who left the stitching meetup for just a little while and walked up to the square in town and had lunch together. Others either didn't want to eat lunch or they brought their lunch, but 6 of us had been looking forward to going up to the square to a little pizza place called Atlas Pizza. It's delicious, and they have small individual pizzas at lunch, and it opened at noon and we got there at 12:05. It was packed, packed. We got the last large table for 6. We had to sit up on a platform in the window. They have a big table with bench seats there, and we had to scoot in on those bench seats and sit in the window. It was fun though. We had such a good time, and the food was delicious. So we teased about needing to take a nap when we got back. Some of us, I'm not sure if it was really teasing or if we secretly were sleeping in our chairs, but anyway, it was a lovely, lovely day. We were there till after 4. We're allowed to stay at the library till 4:30. They like us to leave by 4:30 so they can clean the room and get ready between 4:30 and 5. And today I was leaving at 4:10, turning in the roster of people that had signed up, and there were only 2 people behind me that were packing up their stuff, and so I'm sure we were out of there by about 4:15 or so. But it was a lovely day. Enjoyed it so much. If you get an opportunity to stitch with people, either in person or virtually, I so recommend it. I know that you may not get as much stitching done because you're talking and visiting, but it sure does make life interesting, and it just, I don't know, feeds my soul. I really enjoy stitching with other people. So that was a good day for me. I hope you're having a good weekend. And I am going to finish this little clip. I'm going to add it to what I have collected for the week and try to get it up so I can upload it tomorrow so you can have something on Sunday before my next May Monday start. Happy stitching, everybody. So there's an empty field near our house. Coco, come. There's something in those weeds over there. She cannot stand it. There's an empty field right across from our house, an empty lot. It's for sale. It's on the lake, or pretty much on the lake. I guess they call it lakefront property. But Coco has discovered something in this clump of trees and grass that they don't cut when they run around it with their riding lawnmower. And she is determined to go find out what it is. And I'm afraid there may be a snake in there, so I'm trying to keep her away from it. But we're supposed to be on a walk. And our house is next door to the one you can see. It's obscured by the trees right there. That's how far we've gotten. away from the house, 1 yard width. And this is as far as we've gotten. And she keeps looking and exploring and, you know, keeps trying to get to that, come baby, to the weeds. Anyway, this may be the extent of our walk today. Just smelling the empty lot. We go by it every day. But today, something has caught her attention. She is on the hunt.